Hello, in this video I wanted to talk about strings as arrays. So an array is just a bunch of variables all together, and a string is really just an array of characters. And in earlier languages like C, there was no string data type. If you wanted text, you had to make an array of characters and copy characters into it. So C# is kind of backward compatible that way, in that you can actually treat a string like an array of characters, which means you can use the square brackets, like right here, to get a particular character out of a string. So watch this. I'm going to make an integer here, and I'll call it I, and I'm going to set it equal to 999. All right, yeah, I'll just set it. How about 909? I don't know why, but okay. And now what I want to do is convert this to a string. So how do I convert 999 to a string? Well, I can just use toString, or I could use string.format. Let me do that. So let me say string s equals string.format. And then now I can provide a format specifier. So I'll say I want this thing padded out to 3 digits. So the first part means argument 0, and the third part is like the second part is how many digits you want it padded out to, and the colon is just the separator. So I want the first parameter padded out to 3 digits. And then what's the first parameter? Say I. Alright, there we go. So what this is going to do is it's going to take this thing and pad it out to 3 digits. Actually, why don't I just set it to be 9, and then you'll see what happens here. So if I put a breakpoint and run this, I'll say debug, start without debugging. Oh wait, maybe that was the wrong thing. Actually, I do want to debug. Oh, I'm debugging the wrong. No, this is the right project. Okay, so I is 9, and now what this is going to do is take 9 and format it and pad it out to 3 characters. So if I hit F10 here to step through my code, let's look at S. S is 009. So S is a string. Do you see? You should see the quotation marks around it. So string.format is a way of taking an integer and padding it out to a certain number of characters. Now, what if we maybe we wanted it padded out to like what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How about 5? We'll pad it out to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So what if I wanted to print out each digit in that string? Well, let's use a for loop. So I typed in 4 and hit tab twice. And how long is S? Well, we could put in the number 5, but the safer thing to do is S dot length. So every string knows how many characters it is. And then let's print out console.writeLine. Let's print out the ith character in that string. So how do I print out the ith character in the string? In S, I say S sub I. So this is print out the ith character in S, and when this loop goes through the first time, I is 0, I is 1, I is 2, I is 3, I is 4, I is 5. Oh, we're done. Okay. So let's watch what this does when I print it out. And then I'll do start without debugging. Oh, I am debugging. Debug. Start without debugging. Let's see what it prints out. What's the error here? I've got a problem because my loop counter is called I, but my random number was called I. So I'm going to call my number n for change that. So n is my n for number, and then I is just kind of your traditional. It's just a convention to use I as a loop counter for iterate. So notice it printed out 1, 2, 3. It printed out all the digits there in that number. So I took a number, I padded it out to a certain number of digits, and then I printed out each character in that digit. Let's just as another example here. Let me just I'll print out my name here. String s equals Evan C right, there we go, semicolon, and watch what this does. Okay, so I is 0, so it's going to print out character I, or character 0. Now I is 1, it's going to print out character 1. Character 2, character 3, character 4, all, until we're done. Let me put a breakpoint there so the window doesn't close. And let's look at our console, and you can see Evan C. Right. So it printed out each letter in that string. So we kind of need to know that for the slot machine activity, or at least the console-based slot machine activity, because we're going to have a number that's 3 characters long. And how do we compare this? How do we see if all of them are the same? Well, if character 0 is the same as character 1, and that's this, and character 1 is the same as character 2, well then all 3 characters are equal, and the character should get a jackpot, or the player should get the jackpot. How do we test if only 2 of the characters are the same? Well, we have to test, are character 1 and 2 the same? Are character 2 and are character 0 and 1 the same? Are character 1 and 2 the same? Or are characters 0 and 2 the same? Now the indexes start at 0. That's not characters 1, 2, and 3. The indexes are 0, 1, and 2, because in arrays indexes start at 0. So that's how you can test if all the characters are equal. If character 0 is the same as character 1 and character 1 is the same as character 2, then they're all equal. Otherwise, if character 0 is the same as character 1 or character 1 is the same as character 2 or character 0 is the same as character 2, then at least 2 of them are equal, right? So it takes 3 comparisons to make that decision. So there you go. That's just how you can treat strings as arrays of characters. And in that first example there, I showed you just how to take a number and convert it into a string that was padded out to a certain number of digits, like you're going to have to do in the slot machine activity. And then you can start manipulating the individual characters using the square brackets to go into that string and get out a character at a particular index. And remember, indexes start at 0. So there you go. That's how to treat strings as arrays and use the square brackets on them to get out a particular character.